Hey, everybody, this is Gabe from Detailing Growth and Detailer OS. I get asked a lot about how do I build a sales process or what is a sales process? And a lot of people have been led to believe that it's just a script. And the truth is that a process is a lot more than that. The process is the entire fulfillment workflow as your business grows. And you have to understand the process at every point so that you can also adjust the failure points or improve them at whichever stage in your process that you define. So, most of the people I talk to, they're running ceramic coating shops, they're doing paint protection film, they're doing window tint, they're doing the big three high-end services, and then people also do vinyl and all the commercial wraps, all kinds of other things. So this process can pretty well be applied to most of those things. So ultimately, it starts with knowing where your customers come from and understanding how they move through the process and journey with you and the rest of the parts inside your business. So we're going to head over to the workboard now, and I'm going to show you how this actually works. Ultimately, every bit of your business is driven by inbound marketing unless you get referrals. And inbound marketing is this right here in an engine. You've got your paid acquisition with Google Ads, and hopefully you're doing meta ads, retargeting. These are all things that we do. You've got your organic figured out. You're doing local SEO with service and city pages. You're doing your blog posts every month, and you've got that optimized for quotable copy for AI. And you are also executing on a local Google Business Profile optimization for the map pack. Again, these are all things that Detailing Growth does for its clients. We offer them as standalones and wrapped up for our full stack package and everything in between. You've got your paid, you've got your organic, you've got social proof, people who are seeing your content online from before and after processes. They're seeing reels, they're seeing testimonials, and hopefully you're getting that type of content out there. You should be posting that on all of your socials like 3 times a week. And you should also be tracking and making sure that you understand where people are coming from. Ads, organic, you want to track everything possible. That's what your entire inbound marketing funnel looks like. And ultimately, inbound marketing turns into the supply. So that's ads, SEO, social, and walk-ins, right? And the first thing that customer is going to see as they're introduced into our sales process is they're going to come through the lead capture portals, opt-in forms, or they're going to message you on Facebook or Instagram. They're hitting the CRM and they're getting a message, or you get a message to call them. So they come into the CRM, and then ultimately they move into reaching them in qualifications. The first part is always making contact, right? That's probably something we should add, right? Because you got to make contact before you can talk to them. Make contact is going to be number one. Set up a time to talk because we want to try and talk to them. That's always going to be a better conversation flow. You're going to also get people over text message or email, text. The person who's going to make contact with them should be the rep, should be the person who's either going to play connector. They're going to set up a time for that person to talk with you, or you're going to do the talking themselves. And you can't sell them anything if you don't make contact. So that means that you could be trying for days or weeks to make contact. But ultimately, it all depends on the system. They come into your CRM, and then they make contact. So this is the flow as they work into your funnel and as they come down the pipeline and have a chance to talk to you. So once we start talking to them, we have what we call our 5 qualifier points. Kind of comes up through discovery, needs and emotion, outcome, price, options, and objection handling. Ultimately, when we first talk to them, we want to try and find out, tell us about the car. Where does the car live? How are you driving it? Are there kids going to be in it? Are there going to be pets in it? What kind of work do you do? All part of that. These are all questions that you can ask to help formulate how you're going to relate and connect to this person and how you're going to be able to tailor your process for them. So now that we've made contact and we're speaking to them, we need to drill through and discover why they're here. Peel back the why. We have to understand why they're talking to us and why it's important. Whether it's pride, they want to protect their resale value, somebody told them to, they like the convenience factor. We want to know what the core motive is. And then as we continue talking to them, we want to think about the words they're saying to us, and we want to mirror that back to them. That's going to connect with them emotionally and subconsciously and build trust for you. Because remember, we're selling trust to these people. We're not selling anything else. We're just selling trust. That's all that this is. It is a big game of who gets the trust tokens from the prospect first. And based on the conversation, you should be tagging internally, okay, is this person geared to buy now or are they geared to buy later? What's the urgency level that they have? And make sure that we meet that approach. If they're anything except I'm waiting for the car, you should pretty well be staying in constant contact with them, touching base every week or so. You go from intensive follow-up and then it decreases to less intensive. You want to try and stay in contact with them and be top of mind for them and continue to reach in and touch them for as long as they're on your list and for as long as they haven't made a decision. That's all part of the process, is making sure that we understand their urgency and that we continue to connect with them. And we want to make sure that we summarize everything they speak about on the call. And when we talk to them, I just want to make sure I understand you wanted the paint protected because you're thinking about road trips a lot, and you also want to make it easy to clean. Did I get that right? Those are all things that you should be thinking about while you're on the sales call. And if you're sales enabled, that just flows out of you as a natural course of things. That's just going to happen. But sometimes having it in front of you, maybe you take a sheet of paper and you jot some things down and you use that as kind of a cheat sheet. The next piece that comes into this is the outcome story. We want to make sure that we help them understand what the outcomes are going to be, because outcomes are tied to value. And value is everything. And you speak the most value when you talk about outcomes. There's a bunch of different ways that you can frame the outcome, but ultimately we want them to see it. We want them to picture it. And we can do that through future casting. You can paint a quick picture for them. You'll spend less than half the time washing it, and it'll look like it's freshly detailed every time you wash the car. So that lets them know that they're going to save time. The car is going to look absolutely amazing every time they wash it. We want to continue to anchor to their motive. We want to make sure that we tie that benefit and outcome directly to that why they gave us: pride, protection, time savings. We use some sensory words when we speak to people. We're using gloss, slick, mirror shine. That makes the results tangible for them to understand, and it makes it easier to relate the outcome to those feelings and words that they understand when you help connect them to it. A great opportunity to tie outcomes is you can talk about, this is just AI summary here that's generated in front of me, but we did a full body wrap on a Tesla last week and they absolutely loved it. It saved their butt from somebody keying their car, right? When they were out grocery shopping, they came out and somebody had drugged their key across it. But you know what? They got their paint protection film replaced and they didn't need to wait. You find a way to tie a storied outcome to what it is you offer, and then they will begin to relate to it more. So as we move along here, the next piece is always going to be price and options. This is what the sales process is. It's like, okay, we want to figure out what they need and how they feel about it. We want to show them some outcomes and let them hear about what outcomes could be. And then eventually we get to pricing. But you can't skip over the first two concepts here and jump straight to pricing. It just doesn't work that way. So when we get to the pricing, this is how I like to handle it. Leading with a people first frame. In that, if I were you and it were mine, this is how I would approach this. We make ourselves a consultant and advisor that can be trusted. We must put trust first, and it must be people first, because that's how we humanize our businesses. We don't want to appear like just quoted robots, and it doesn't matter if that person seems like they only want a price. That very well may be, but they're still going to remember how you treated them. And that's the most important part. And what we find anchors the best is if you give it the reversed good, better, best spread. So you do best first. This is the best option. This covers everything that you could possibly want and need ever. And then this is also a great option. And then we have our good or our essential. You frame it and anchor with the best first, because you want to anchor them as that to be the shining star of the conversation. That's what they're aiming for. Even if they say they don't want it, they always want it. And you want to use your visual weapons. Now, this is a concept many people don't have, and this is extremely important. Your visual weapons are any artwork that you've created. It could be pictures. It could be one of the best things that we have are things like this that are already pre-made. They're just like flyers. These are actually lobby designs that we have and for clients. These are some of the templates of what they start with before they start to be modified. We can take a screenshot of this or save it and then send it to somebody over messages. They have a really professional looking visual. This is a sales tool. Another sales weapon is your YouTube and social media. These are great. You can get them down in front of process videos. You can get them down in front of referrals or in front of testimonials. This guy right here and has been on my website for God knows how long and has sold more jobs than I care to count. It was a fantastic opportunity to showcase what another shop did to his car. And we were able to highlight him, and he was proud to do that. And sending them the shorts page or the reels page of your social profile, easy peasy way to build trust, because it lets them quickly tap on video and then flip through your content. This is an easy thing for you to have on hand, and you should be using it and weaponizing it. You're using your visual weapons and you're getting in front of them and you're showing them how you are the expert and that you know what you're doing. You can be trusted. Ultimately, sometimes all you just need to ask, which do you think feels right for how you plan to drive and keep the vehicle? And then you can let them talk themselves into it. All you need to do is ask, why do you think that one's probably the best fit for you? And you can use your information seeking and consultative approach for them to sell themselves into the package. Ultimately, once we cover pricing, objectives, or objections, and ultimately objections are not just a black and white area. Objections are something that's fluid because everybody handles them differently based on the buyer persona that they are. Because everybody's customer base, depending on region and ICP, ideal client profile, and the type of person they are, take and give objections differently. First part is you always want to make sure that you empathize with them when they give you an objection. You do not want to just railroad them and talk over them, because that makes them feel like you're hard selling them. And that's never a good thing. We want to rock with a baseline feel, felt, found. We want to empathize with whatever objection they're giving us. We want to reference other people or other examples of why the other solution is a better one. We can talk about the result, because the tone that we get to keeps it consultative. And that's the most important piece, is that we don't transform to consultant to salesman. We want to stay consultant. We want to make sure that we proactively cover cost, time, warranty, because if we put the negatives out first, we build trust over them because we're not trying to hide them. Because if it's plainly stated, it's no longer an issue of, is this information actually true because I've had to discover it, or is it true because this person actively put it out in front of me? You want to put those mild negatives out front and lead with that. Just you make it clear, but you make them casual to brush over. You can touch on cost of delay, comparing having the work done now versus later. If they're like, I'm not sure it's worth it, you could restate warranty. You could talk about how you're always there if they need help, and that you want to see the car once a year just to make sure everything's okay. And you use those things to reverse the risk in their mind about, am I getting ripped off, or is this a good investment? Should I gamble this? Well, you have to help them understand that it's not a gamble. That's your primary goal. You want to have information at hand to make sure that you can be successful in this. And inside the Excalidraw here, I have our Sell More Coatings and Sell More PPF guide. This was one of the first objection guides to ever be released a few years ago, and nothing in it is different than how I would do it now. The Sell More PPF guide is another PDF of how I was able to, so I took a phone call and I transcribed it, and then I show you why I say the things that I say in that call to help you understand how you need to speak about those services, how to do so from a consultative approach. So between the Sell More Coatings and Sell More PPF, you should pretty well have the weapons and like arsenal of information that you would need to finish a sales process. So having these on hand for whoever's going to be doing sales, having them look at this video that you've seen so that they have a good understanding of how they should be approaching these conversations. This is a great opportunity to put this video in front of somebody in your sales process and whoever is handling sales, so that they understand where they come from, how they need to be treated, where they're going to be going. And then went over the hard stuff, and I skipped over the follow-up and closing because truthfully, the part of the process not stated, because it is always going to be a part of the process. You always have to follow up. You don't get the one-touch close all the time. You have to follow up and reach in and make sure that you're still top of mind. Eventually, you got to get that close and you got to get that deposit. Those are the two endpoints. And I'll be completely honest with you, everyone struggles with follow-up because they don't genuinely understand what it is. So just because you have a lead that's in your system and you spoke to them or tried to get them to buy for a week, doesn't mean you don't stop trying to talk to them. You can talk to them once a month. Every single CRM has a call reminder feature. If you utilize, all you need to do is open your CRM every day, and you'll have a list of people that you need to call. And all you need to do is pick your follow-up intervals and have them as presets. And then you can quickly set those tasks internally inside your CRM. Just remember that follow-up is not just sending an occasional text. A follow-up is calling out of the blue. It's sending an email. It's making sure that they're on a drip sequence. It's making sure that you continue to make yourself known to them. Those are all ways that you can stay in touch and follow up with that particular customer or prospect. And it pretty much doesn't end until that person tells you to like jump off a cliff. Buy or die is what we follow. After that, you have to ask for the sale. Look, how's next week work for you? I got this date. I can get you in at 2:00. Because ultimately, if you don't ask for the deposit and you don't ask for the job and close it, you're never going to get it. So you got to ask. And sometimes you got to reiterate and get back on another call and get them to just remember what you talked about. It's not a 1, 2, 3, 4 type of process. That's not what this is. This is very, very fluid, and it's always changing because you have a changing work environment, and the type of person that you deal with and how you communicate with them is going to be different as well. And ultimately, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an SOP, for your sales process that you can hand to your sales rep and say, this is what you're going to do with every single person. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what you're going to do. And that's the baseline level of effort that they're expected to give. But you need to do through the rest of the way and carry it through and make sure that you modify it and add additional touch points and define how you want to communicate. So you'll be able to grab a link for that down in the description. All you have to do is opt in for it and it's all yours. So thanks so much for watching this. I'd love to see some comments down below and hear about if this connected for you, because if you felt that this was helpful, I will gladly spend more time making instructional videos. The link is down there in the description. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment here on YouTube, and make sure you check out the podcast. And if you want somebody to work with you in your business that knows what they're doing, has worked inside the industry, knows it in and out, and has seen what it means to grow from nothing to 7 figures, Detailing Growth and Detailer OS is here for you. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one.